So when we are born again, we know that we are in Christ. And we know once we're in Christ, the Bible tells us that we are new creatures. And if you don't, I'm going to go ahead and read that for you right here. 2 Corinthians verse 5:17. Let's go ahead and read it. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. So when I begin to think of being a new creature in Christ or being born again, I began to think of the change in heart that I had once I was saved. So once I began to believe that Jesus died for me and he was resurrected, there was a change within myself that made me want to do things differently. And the Bible talks about it a little bit in Romans chapter 6 and verse 12. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof. So what exactly does this mean? So it's not saying that we're going to not have lust anymore. It's not saying that we're not going to sometimes fall into those temptations. It's not saying we're going to be perfect. What it is saying is that we are going to resist these temptations. And when we are new creatures in Christ, our want changes, our wants change. Not that our body doesn't still have these desires or these lusts that we dealt with before we're saved. We still have those lusts, and sometimes they're harder to resist than others. But the big change happens within your heart and what you feel when you make those mistakes and you commit those sins. When you make those mistakes and commit those sins, you no longer feel good about them. You start to feel the conviction over your heart. You start to not want to do those things. And one of the greatest things that you can do is resist those, because what happens when you resist the sin, you begin to get closer to God. The more that you love God, the more that you will begin to hate those sins. The more you will be able to abstain from them, just because you love Jesus so much and you desire a relationship with him. Because you're a new creature in him, he has allowed you to get closer to him by abstaining through the love that you feel in your heart for him. And now you no longer want to do those things that pulled you apart from him in the first place.